All right. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm on a pop up on a Saturday. Yes. And so, because I didn't get a chance to talk to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I'm coming back today. And so, for those on Facebook who see this, and hey, you get the opportunity to see this again. So, today I want to talk to you all. I know this is not Financial Fitness Friday, it's Friday, but it is Financial Fitness. And so, we're going to talk on this Financial Fitness Friday, Saturday, I should say, Financial Fitness Saturday pop up on your social media platform today, and I want to talk about the Life Vault again for those who didn't catch it the first time around. So I know I had some technical issues yesterday, but I made a point to say I'm going to come back this weekend and make sure I give you guys that information to make sure everyone get that knowledge, not just a certain demographic of people, but everyone has it. So today I'm going to come back with the Light Vault. I want to talk to you all about what that looks like and why that's so significant, and not only why it's so significant, what that does for you and your family, and how that positions you and your family, in these days and times that we're in. And so, with that being said, I shared a story, but actually, I got a second story. For some of you all who may have seen the first one, you haven't heard this second story. This one's hot off the press. And so, for those of you who are your note takers, grab your note pen, your paper. Those who are pressed for time on Saturday, listen, this is going to be real quick. We're going to be in and out. For those of you who want to get all the information and want to have some fun with it at the same time, we're going to have a little bit of fun, but it's also going to be a little bit serious time as well. So, with that being said, let's jump into it. Okay, so yesterday I shared with you all about I set out. Well, let me back up for a moment. So let's go back to the beginning. So 2 weeks ago, was not yesterday, but the week before. So not 2 weeks ago, just a week ago. And I shared about how having a Life Vault, your estate planning, and we know the estate planning we offer at no additional cost. By the way, that gives you opportunity to have all your documents notarized, saved online. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I mentioned about how sometimes our family members, we get our trust, last will, and testament. We have our healthcare directors, we have our funeral directors, we have power of attorney. But sometimes family members have that and they don't know where to find it. So what I want to talk to you all about is taking a guessing game out of it. Okay, not only the guessing game out of it, but have these things in order to avoid conflict. And today is going to be more so about how we avoid conflict, mess, and confusion. Now, everybody family is not created equal. Sometimes people pass away. You see other sides of people. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. The other side of them come out. You're like, where was you hiding at? Were you in hide go see all this time? And now it's time to be out. So we have that side. So we want to eliminate that and have peace when it's time for those moments to come. We don't have to have confusion. It doesn't have to be arguments. We can have peace. I digress. And so let's talk about that. So I made the statement about how sometimes people can't find documents, right? So I led with that yesterday, and I talked about it last Friday. And sure enough, a few days later, you guys, I sat down with a client, unrelated to this conversation, by the way. I just so happened because I was doing some business consulting, and I was just mentioning to her about she should have estate planning, she should have her business in a trust. Just a sidebar conversation because of the type of meeting we were having. And she was like, you know what? Speaking of a trust, my mom needs that. And so when she began to talk to me about that, not only she said that, they had to find it, they can't find the documents. And so I said, wow. I said, we were just talking about this. While I did it live, I was talking about how important that is, because sometimes family members just can't find it. Sometimes they don't always share it. Everybody family does things differently. Some people are more organized than others. But however, we're trying to get everybody organized. And not only get everybody organized, but those who don't believe in having their estate planning, opportunity to have it. We'll talk about that too in a second. So I shared that story. And so then, so now I'm working with the family to potentially have those things in place if they can't find the documents. So nonetheless, here's the second story. And then I'm going to get into why the Life Vault is important. The second story happened today. I called a friend of mine who I know very well, who knows me pretty well. And I just checked to see how things are going. And she began to tell me it's a mess right now. I said, a mess? What happened? What do you mean a mess? What's going on? And she began to tell me without going into too much business, but someone in her family had, in her granddaughter's life, passed away. The dad passed away, and and it's just a mess. And it only was a mess because there was not an agreement on what should be done. And without going into details, some people want to have it their way. And so it's interesting. I was just speaking about this yesterday, and I said I don't want people arguing about what I wear, if I'm to be cremated, if I'm to be just buried, if I have this casket on, this clothing, this makeup, whatever the case may be. I don't want no argument. Don't do that. Celebrate my life. Don't argue over my life. Even at the end of life, don't argue. And so to hear that just today, how many hours later? But 18, 20 hours later, to hear someone come back and say that to you. After I just was talking about this yesterday, about how sometimes when people transition, the family members who are here, sometimes you see the other side, or they want to make decisions. So we want to eliminate that. And I'm not the only one who probably feel this passion about it. But we don't want confusion. Like, I like peace. I enjoy peace. I preserve my peace. I honor the peace that God gives me. We don't have confusion, folks. Do we? No. None of us do. And especially we're not even here, but we're not even here, and our family members who are here going through it. Confusion. We don't want that. So we want to eliminate that. And so, like I said, so today, I said, wow. I was just talking about that. I said that we have it's called empathy. It's a concierge service that we offer at no additional cost, by the way. No additional cost. But it's an opportunity for everyone to have their estate planning, including your last will and testament. Not only that, but you get to have your funeral directives, meaning that others who may say, well, they want to do this or they want to know, it's outlined already. And that funeral directives help not only you execute the family last will, but they also help you find the funeral home to host it. They help you find it. So it's a whole lot that comes with it. It's amazing. Amazing, this offer. And not only that, but so why the Life Vault is so important? Why am I emphasizing a Life Vault? It's because no one has to play the guessing game on where documents are, where things are. What did they actually want? Even if you got documents, hello somebody, you can have life insurance policy. Okay, well, what did they want when they, now you got the money? Who gets what? We know that there's a beneficiary, and so the beneficiary normally is entitled to that. But sometimes the beneficiary is just to execute the will, execute the plans. So it's important that we have our ducks in a row. And I gave some staggering numbers that 30% of people in this country, USA, have estate planning. 70% does not. That's a very high number. 70% does not. And so what I love that we do and what we're offering even now is the fact, in this month of August, by the way, is National Make a Will Month. Sidebar. National Make a Will Month, and it's a time to update your estate planning. So this is a time to do that. It really is. But however, in addition to that, I should say that this is a time for not only to do estate planning, but it's a time to make sure everything is in order. And so that Life Vault gives us, you and I, the opportunity to have all these things put in place. So let's talk about the Life Vault and why that's so significant. So the Life Vault, even if you have a life insurance policy, when you have that, it helps preserve family asset. So not only does it, the Life Vault, which is unlimited cloud space, by the way, so the family has access to it, and so does the beneficiary. So the beneficiary will have access to it. Whoever's designed to have, and they will know what the will was, what the plan is. Is it do not resuscitate? Is it resuscitate? All these different things that we have questions about, including the life insurance policy that most people go find digging for. That's part of the documents. As I mentioned before, the first lady, the first story I was telling you about, she said they got to go find it. And you know why they have to go find it? Because it's a short deadline. The family has to have it because the healthcare professionals are asking for it. And I shared the story about how the daughter who I'm speaking with, she was like, I wanted to have this in plan. She wanted to have this in place for her family. And so the mere fact, it didn't happen then, and the families are on the reactive side of things, and they don't want to be that way, but that's where they currently may be if they haven't filed the documents. But then nonetheless, we want to eliminate that, and not only find documents, but what is the will? What is the final wishes for these assets? So that's important. And then also too, the life vault supports generational wealth transfer. Let me say this, sidebar. Let me ask you all this question. How many of you all want tax-free generational wealth? And how many of y'all want tax generational wealth? Many people are finding themselves worked all their lives, saved, did some investing, to only for that to be taxed generational wealth. That means their asset is taxed. So if you want to know how you can have tax-free generational wealth, then you and I need to sit down and have a conversation. You need to book an appointment with me. And if you are interested in talking about this estate planning that comes with no additional cost to you, no additional cost to have these services, then you and I need to sit down and have a conversation as well. And so with having the light vault, it makes everything easy for the family. It does. Having to have to bury a loved one is challenging. And I know this is not an easy conversation to have with anybody. But in these days and times that we're in, we see what's happening around the world. We need to have these conversations. My hometown, I mentioned yesterday, it's been, I think, maybe 9-10 days, maybe more, maybe 10 days now, maybe 11 because today's Saturday, where they have no power. A tornado came through there. I'm here in Arizona, and a tornado, I think it was lightning, it was a lightning, struck a tree. A huge tree, massive, at the root. So we're in these days and times where there's so much going on. Like I said, Indiana, where I'm originally from, East Chicago, up northwest Indiana, flooded. Not flooded, tornadoes just came through and just power outage. It's so much going on. And so having our affairs in order, getting it in order, having a conversation. Sometimes just start having the conversations and then do something about it. Because a lot of times these estate plannings cost maybe $2,000. I've heard $2,400, some $1,850, some $500. But be mindful. Let me just give you a word of wisdom. Ask what's included in there and how is these documents preserved. Because you can get it notarized. They can give you the documents. And I know places where you will prepare it and they will send it to you. And you don't have, and you're responsible to keep up with it. We help the family keep up with these documents. And when the loved ones transitioned, the beneficiary and those who are designed, purpose to get this information will have access to this. So all is not lost. It's kept, it's safe, it's secure, it's protected. And so it's a big deal. And so not only does it help with the wealth transfer, but it also provides protection for loved ones. The Life Vault does that. It has all of that. And then it also creates you asset transfer. So you have a strategy to how am I going to execute this? This Life Vault supports that. It helps you strategize your assets. So you know who's getting what. It's a phenomenal thing. This thing is a big deal. It's a big deal for me. And one of the things that really touched my heart, I shared this yesterday, is the fact that the Life Vault, actually we write, for those who want to write letters to your family members, you can write a love letter to your family members, to friends, just loved ones. Like I was sharing yesterday, which is really good. I like that. The fact that you can write a letter to your family members. So you have children, you have family members, things you want to speak over their life. Maybe you might not be there for their wedding. Maybe you might not be there for this, phase of their life or that phase of life. And you can write a love letter to them. I think that's so, it's a personal touch that you write that letter to them. And just let them know, hey, this is how I see for you. This is some things I've learned. If you get to this point in life, this may happen. And if it does, there's some things I've learned. There's some wisdom I've gained. This is some strategies. Any of those things you can do. I think that is so amazing. And then we preserve that. And when it's time to disperse that out, we disperse it out. So it's amazing. And then also, too, I want to go back to the trust for a second. That trust, for a moment, is a revocable trust. What does revocable means? That means you can change it. So a lot of times I meet with people and they say, "Oh, I want to maybe later in life I would get a trust." Like, no, if you have a house, you have insurance, you have assets, any of your assets, you have artwork, painting, that's an asset. You want to put all that in there. Even if you have no asset right now, you say, "Shantay, I ain't got nothing." It's okay. You can still be creating, and then just give people opportunity to put yourself in there as you grow, as you grow, as you grow, as you're moving, as you even if you're an older person, you can still have your assets in there. Even if you're a younger person and you're accumulating asset, it's okay. You still create it, and it grows with you. So it's an amazing thing. It's an incredible thing to have, and I can't emphasize it enough. So, but that life vault gives you that. That life vault gives you all of the funeral plan, like the funeral, and so the loss support. By the way, let me say I talked about the vault, the loss support. The loss support gives your funeral planning. It gives you your claim support, pricing of a funeral, the grief support, all these things. You don't gotta pay for therapy. They give you all of that. You need counsel. Uh, it comes with all of that. And sometimes it's needed. It's so needed. But all of that is included at zero additional cost for you. That's why that's amazing. That's why I had to come on here and make sure everyone gets that knowledge, everyone gets that information. It's that powerful. It's that comprehensive. It's that detailed. And so you don't have to pay that. And I love the fact, the one thing I do love about it, I enjoy, I'm in the empathy, I just respect that, is because everyone has the opportunity. You don't have to be a certain class. Hello, somebody. You don't have to be a certain class. You don't have to be not only a certain class, a certain race to have these things. It's for everybody. Everyone has opportunity. Now no one can say, "Well, I didn't know you can do that." Now you know. And I hope someone, you see this video, like it, share it, let someone know. If you say, "Hey, Shantay, I already got my stuff," then let someone else know about it. Refer people to me who can use these services. Because at this point, all of us need it. Whether, all of us need, especially if we don't have it. This is an opportunity for all of us to have it, to have a last will and testament, to have the trust, to have our healthcare directors, our power of attorney. It's an incredible opportunity for you to have it, and you don't have to pay nothing additional for it. That's what makes it cool. That's what makes it amazing. So not everybody has, like they say, everyone has a seat at the table. No one's left alone. No one's on the side. No one is, somewhere else. No, we can all sit at the table and we can all feast and enjoy all these benefits. So that's amazing. So I wanted to come on here live today, and well, not live, but here on these platforms that you guys are seeing this on today, and let you know that, hey, sit down with someone, have a conversation about estate planning. Don't think you got to have all your life together. While you're getting your life together, or while you're making changes, while you are transitioning, these things are in place to do it. And the month of August is a time to update your estate planning. And if you have not started it and you have not made the appointment, this is the time. This is the time to do so. I know that I saw a post on social media on Facebook, and I shared it on my page, my personal page, with Michael Jamal Warner, and how the fact that God rest his soul, I respect him, truly respect him, and praying for him and his family. And he had got a trust when he was 26 years old, but got remarried several years later, and did not update his trust, his estate planning. And so his new wife wasn't as entitled to everything because he had a trust that he never updated. So maybe you are one who's listening to me who does have a trust, who does update their information. Or you're a person who has a trust but has not updated your information. Then I need you to contact someone. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to anyone. Just update it. Is my point. Just make the appointment. Don't put it off. Don't put it off. If you can, make the appointment. My contact information, you will see it here on social media. You'll see it contact me, reach out, set the appointment up, to have the conversation. And have the conversation with your family and loved ones. This stuff is real. Have the conversation with your family. It's not always the prettiest conversation. I know. Trust. I know. But it is worth the conversation nonetheless. So with that being said, you all have a honeylicious rest of your Saturday. Whatever you're doing, be safe. God bless you all. You know, we like to say we accomplish more and go what? Further with honey than vinegar. So make sure you eat the honey, y'all. That's the sweetness of life. It's the presence of God. That's His word. That's the good news. Eat that and then release it. Don't be stingy now. Share that good news with somebody else. Release the honey on someone else. All right. Well, with that being said, you guys have a honeylicious rest of your Saturday, and reach out to me if you have more questions. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.